In the small, tightly knit community of Maple Street, where everyone knew each other's name and business, there lived an old widow named Mrs. Alcott. A longtime member of Maple Street Baptist Church, she was known for her kindness and enduring faith. Her little house, hugged by a white picket fence, was often a refuge for the lost, the tired, and those in need of a good conversation over a cup of tea. One stormy evening, as rain pattered against her window panes like little drumming fingers, Mrs. Alcott heard a hesitant knock at her door. When she opened it, she found a young woman standing on her porch, drenched and shivering. The woman introduced herself as Ellie, her eyes holding stories that seemed too heavy for her years. Ellie was new to Maple Street, having moved there in hopes of escaping a troubled past. She confessed to Mrs. Alcott that she felt overwhelmed, lost amidst the turns her life had taken. Mrs. Alcott, with a smile as warm as the quilt she wrapped around Ellie's shoulders, invited her in. They sat by the roaring fireplace, where Ellie spilled her story between sips of peppermint tea. Her life had been a whirlwind of bad decisions and unfortunate events, but the one thing she clung to was a faint hope that she could find redemption and a fresh start. Mrs. Alcott listened intently, her eyes reflecting a compassion that made Ellie feel seen and understood. After Ellie's confessions dwindled into silence, Mrs. Alcott shared her own tale of redemption. Many years ago, her husband had died unexpectedly, leaving her to face the gnawing abyss of loneliness and despair. But in her darkest hour, Mrs. Alcott had turned to her faith, which slowly stitched back the pieces of her broken heart, infusing her life with new meaning and joy. Moved by Mrs. Alcott's story, Ellie's eyes welled up. She admitted she had been skeptical of faith, considering her past wherein everything seemed to crumble no matter how hard she prayed. Mrs. Alcott took Ellie's hands into hers, whispering gently, "My dear, sometimes our understanding of being answered isn't a grand display but quiet, gradual changes. Perhaps He is answering you, here with us now." As the storm outside softened to a whispering drizzle, a power outage swept through Maple Street. The house plunged into darkness, save for the flickering flames casting dancing shadows on the walls. Amidst the darkness, Ellie felt a warmth radiating within her, something she hadn't felt in a long time. The room was void of light, yet her heart felt lighter, touched by the genuine care of a woman who seemed to have lived through enough to understand. By the time the lights returned, Ellie had made a decision. She would start attending church, not out of blind obligation, but from a genuine desire to explore this faith that had cradled Mrs. Alcott through her storms. Mrs. Alcott, delighted, promised to accompany her, and together they planned their Sunday visit. Weeks turned into months, and Ellie found herself a new fixture on Maple Street. Her journey of faith was not without its challenges, but with each step, the community stood by her, their kindness a beacon of light in her path to redemption. Slowly, the fleeting smiles Ellie offered transformed into laughter, her eyes brightening as if they too had found a home. One evening, about a year after that stormy night, Maple Street celebrated Ellie's baptism. The little white church was filled with faces beaming with pride and joy. Ellie, dressed in white, emerged from the water, her face radiant with a profound peace. She smiled, looking out at the community, her new family, who had guided her back to the light. Mrs. Alcott, watching from the front pew, felt tears of joy stream down her cheeks. In helping Ellie, she received a reaffirmation of her own journey, a testament that even amidst life's fierce storms, faith remains an eternal anchor. And sometimes, a single act of kindness can illuminate the darkest paths.